Story 1, full-blown, low-risk body part replacement. Congratulations, you just turned 20 years old. Time for your indestructible teeth replacements. Hurt your back? Well, you could adapt your lifestyle around the pain, but we'd recommend just replacing it at this point. Story 2. A volume dial inside my ears that can be used to moderate all external noise according to your needs, because the entire world and everyone in it is too loud all of the time. Story 3. A way to improve my poor eyesight. I cannot even imagine the beauty I am missing out on, though I will wait for a few updates, not really wanting to risk a prototype version. Haha. Story 4. A cure for substance addiction would be nice. Invent a drug that can block the effects of opioids, nicotine, or alcohol, and a lot of problems go away. Story 5. I've wanted to be able to record and play back my imagination for a long time. I'm pretty good at visualizing stuff in my mind, but terrible at recreating it via art or whatever. If I could just record what I see in my brain and play it back on a personal computer, that would be amazing. Story 6. A universal, infallible lie detector. Imagine connecting it to your average political or religious leader and the interesting conversations that would ensue. Story 7. I can't wait for humanity to invent effective treatments for serious diseases, such as cancer or neurodegenerative diseases. This could significantly improve the quality of life for millions of people and save many lives. Story 8. Virtual reality, but with touch and also with movement. Honestly, I know it's one of the classic dystopian ideas that we will all lose ourselves in a virtual reality fantasy world when it exists and become disconnected from reality, but I'm not convinced that won't be a good thing. Story 9. Infrastructure and technical limitations of electric vehicles. As soon as it is possible to charge a car within 5 minutes of filling a tank full of gasoline, there is literally no reason not to go all in on electric vehicles. Furthermore, I wish car manufacturers would stop making electric cars look like electric cars. You know, the industrial design needs tremendous maturing in the segment. Story 10. A machine that can create multiple copies of me so I can get more things done, or a time machine and teleport. Overall, anything that can help me save the most valuable asset, time. Story 11. Common sense would be nice, but more on topic. I would really like there to be an effort towards creating truly affordable food that has actual nutritional value, so that eating healthy becomes the norm, not the exception. Story 12. The ability to travel more easily through the solar system and eventually have faster-than-light travel could fundamentally alter many economic models that revolve around the scarcity of certain resources. We would be postponing the inevitable day when we expand to the point that we're running out of resources in the solar system, but that day is far in the future. Besides, entropy is going to affect us all in the end, as there is currently insufficient data for a meaningful answer. Story 13. I want a teleporter. Imagine having no commute. Want to get Indian food in India? Bam. Want to visit a French cafe? Bam. Want to go see Hobbiton but don't want to deal with a flight to New Zealand? Bam. Story 14. Exoskeleton limbs. Meaning additional controllable limbs. Imagine combining the existing prosthetic limbs technology with something like Musk's Neuralink. I'd volunteer for trials in a heartbeat. Story 15. Ethical automation of utilities, resource production, and unfulfilling jobs to the point that we could eliminate poverty, resource scarcity, and homelessness, allowing more of the population to pursue their interests rather than what will provide for them best. Story 16. A mind much smarter than our own, capable of objective, rational thought less dependent upon heuristics and logical fallacies or cognitive bias in order to function, and hopefully with a far greater bandwidth than the measly 10 to 12 bits of information a second our conscious brains can process. If we could build a mind that isn't as mind-numbingly stupid as we are, if it didn't have to be so dumb just to function, that would be quite the thing to see. Imagine what could be achieved with artificial intelligence more capable of assimilating all of humanity's collective knowledge and wisdom into a singular point instead of trying to rely on tiny pieces. A mind could process information millions of times faster than what humanity can achieve on a mind-numbing scale. All other problems would virtually go away. We'd finally have a tool that would be able to finish off humanity and usher in the dawn of a new era. Story 17. Besides a cure for cancer, I wish there was a comfortable set of headphones you could wear to sleep that could also not be heard at all by the person sleeping next to you. Story 18. Intergalactic telecommunication. Just imagine if we had a source of communication between planets, galaxies, and even universes. We are trying to make our way of traveling the galaxy while there may be a different life form in one of the other galaxies that have already mastered intergalactic travel. We would be able to travel to different planets. Story 19, Lab-grown meat. I know it technically exists, but being able to grow meat at a competitive price that tastes the same would be amazing. It would lower a lot of emissions, not to mention be much more ethical. Story 20, growing your own organs. My husband is going to need another kidney within 20 years and maybe another liver. Those anti-rejection drugs really suck. Story 21, faster transportation and artificial climate for northern settlements. Where I live in the Arctic, the closest cities take several hours to drive and agriculture can be scarce. Consider moving if nothing happens to solve this issue. Story 22, some sort of biohack to let us have way more control over our bodies and senses. Like, let me tell my brain to stop receiving sound waves or to lower the brightness on my eyes. Let me press a button to go instantly to sleep on a timer. Basically, a way to make little annoyances of being alive go away temporarily and under my control to eliminate the need for all sorts of stuff like sunglasses, noise-canceling headphones, sleeping pills, you name it. Story 23, swimsuits that change color when you pee in them. Then wait for the Reddit posts like, "Am I the jerk for buying my brother pee-stained trunks?" His girlfriend broke up with him because he peed in her parents' jacuzzi. Story 24, I have a dream about the revamping of school systems. Now, before you scroll away, I'm not talking about removing Common Core or any of that jazz. That's a debate for another time. I co-host a podcast about aphantasia, and we have talked extensively about how difficult it is for some people to succeed in school when so much of it is visualization-based, and not everyone can picture things in their head. I am waiting for the invention of a curriculum that needs no visualization, no heavy memorization of pointless facts, focused more on application and skill building. I'm not sure what it would look like, but I want it. Story 25, human immortality. And it's much closer than people realize. I'm sure plenty of people will still willingly choose to live naturally and die for moral or religious reasons, but I think there will be plenty of us who simply choose to keep living. Sure, there will probably be some difficult compromises to make, such as sterilization of those who choose to be immortal, but I for one will gladly be the first in line for the procedure or whatever it is. Story 26, fusion. Everything else is secondary, even if quantum computers are a very close second. But literally everything else is unimportant in comparison. Crazy cheap energy will enable solving so many things. Fresh water shortage? No problem, because with virtually unlimited energy we already have technology to remove salt from seawater. Global warming? No problem, no more coal, gas, or oil plants required to make energy. Probably parts of the transport sector can run on small reactors as well. I could go on, but you probably get the point. So fusion will solve many, even most, of the biggest problems of our generation. Quantum computers, on the other hand, will allow us as a species to take the leap into the next generation, which will undoubtedly be awesome, but doesn't matter much if we still haven't solved the biggest problems we already have. Story 27, cure for most cancers. I was doing a research paper while in South Korea and Japan and studied modifying killer T cells. Apparently, they can target abnormalities like cancer duplication. All I know is that the research looks promising, but testing is still happening and may be ready for people in about 20 to 21 years. Possibly not. There are still many cancers to solve, but for many cancers that occur in the head, this technique has failed or is generally not working. My professor, who was helping me, showed that it has potential in solving dementia by having cell modifications that can repair or slow down the deterioration of cells. Theoretically, it is still in the works, but technically, at one point in the future, people can, in some ways, be immortal. Hopefully, we see the breakthrough happening sooner, but good things take time. Story 28, we already have fusion. I am pretty sure that within the last few years, we have been able to get more energy out of a fusion reaction than we put in. So we are not too far off. Story 29. Invent a pill that, once swallowed, disseminates throughout the entire body. It consists of millions of nanobots that can relay information back to a system regarding the workings of the body. Essentially, it's a swallowable MRI scanner. Story 30. A way to leave people in awe and wonder about reliability and repeatability. Feeling angry or like the world is awful. Boom. Oh, I forgot. Life is amazing. This traffic jam is amazing. Come on, I want a hug. Imagine lysergic acid diethylamide, without the edge or the duration. Story 31. Mass desalination technology, as well as mass deplastification technology. To be able to turn seawater into potable water would be a game changer for humanity. Story 32. A way for me to be inside my computer or control it telepathically somehow, so I can do things instantly and not have to fuss around with a mouse and keyboard as I work. Next, I want contact lenses that block out any advertisements, whether on the television, laptop, or real-world advertisements. Finally, a device that lets my dog understand my words, so I can tell him he is a good boy and that I love him. Story 33. Two things, and both seem within reach. 1. Universal basic healthcare for all. It would take a lot of work, but it is not untenable. Universal basic income for all. No, I am not talking about minimum wage. That is a bad joke. I mean a decent, real living wage for everyone. Story 34. I cannot wait for people to create instant translators. Imagine being able to talk to anyone in any language without interruption. It will open up more opportunities for cultural exchange and understanding, and make the world feel smaller and more connected. Story 35. Actual virtual reality like you would see in anime. That was the future I was promised, not microtransactions being the sole focal point. It is seriously depressing seeing what the gaming industry has turned into. Story 36. A device that can inject information into the brain. I'll download Common Sense, which would take approximately 12.8 gigabytes, put it on a flash drive, and then upload it to some people out there. Story 37. I am looking forward to us customizing genetically operated machinery. Basically, custom life forms that do work and run on calories and sunlight rather than petroleum. Story 38. Self-dusting/self-cleaning house. Just let me live in a house that is perpetually clean, please. Also, a way to bring back extinct animals like the dodo and Tasmanian tiger. It would be good if we learned how to bring nature back into balance too. Story 39. Traffic lights that accurately manage the flow of traffic. I'm talking about you, Orlando. Those cameras on top of the lights that detect cars don't work. The sensors in the ground don't work. Find a better way, Orlando. Story 40. Shades for the street, big acres of sheer net above, like 15 feet in the air, so when it's summer it will be less hot. When it rains, the water can go through the net. If shoes or kids throw anything on it, people or a fire truck can use a long stick to get it off. Story 41. Lab-grown commercial meats. I get to have a real steak without anyone dying for it? Sign me up. This also contributes towards lab-grown organs, which would solve the issue of hospital patients needing to be on transplant lists for many years while they slowly waste away physically and financially. Story 42. I don't think the science for this will ever be created, but a dream recorder. I don't know why, but ever since I was young, I've always had the most random dreams, and every time I tell someone about the dream I had the night before, they always say the same thing. Man, I love your dreams. I'm not the best at storytelling, so a dream recorder would save me a lot of storytelling. Story 43. Functional cybernetics. We are so far down the cyberpunk dystopia hole. I say let me go to the optometrist and swap out these poor astigmatism-affected eyes for some 4K optics with a zoom feature because I like to birdwatch. Story 44. A way to turn trash into a renewable energy source. I do not know if that is even possible, but trash will always be here, so we do not have to worry about it running out. It is not doing anything. I have always wondered why we cannot use it for something productive. Story 45. Mind reading and thought communicating technology. Many of the problems we have nowadays are caused by the fact that no one can truly understand each other. Story 46. Something like an energy condenser in modded Minecraft, the thing that translates any equivalent mass value in it to an item you want to copy. Like imagine putting your garbage or junk into it, and now it has a measurable number of carbon, iron, or gold atoms in it, and now you can use those building blocks to make something else. Story 47. Full-body medical imaging that everyone uses on a regular basis is run through artificial intelligence that learns and proactively detects issues long before they become a problem. Story 48. Graphene battery. We need new, reliable, and safe batteries to replace lithium since lithium is highly flammable and can cause explosions. Graphene batteries, from what I have heard, are highly heat-resistant and discharge more slowly than lithium. Story 49. A working faster than light drive. I will be glad to be rid of this planet and live in space my entire life if I can get away from people and their incessant pollution, both chemical and verbal. Story 50. Augmented reality glasses with a program that inserts dinosaurs into my world. Look up at the sky, a pterodactyl flaps by. In the warehouse, those tiny little bothersome dinosaurs from the third Jurassic Park scurry across like a mouse. Drive by an empty pasture, herds of dinosaurs. I'm almost 40. When I have this technology, I'll know the future has come to fruition. Story 51. I hope they invent something that turns us into flesh machines that run on autopilot when we clock into work so we are basically blacked out the whole time.